Hey everybody, welcome to episode 12 of the Sugar Chronicles. This podcast is brought to you by Ms. Opium of the Pod Life. The Sugar Chronicles is a podcast chronicling the life, my life of pie, cake, cookies, candies, pastries, and other hidden sources of my sweet white nemesis. Well, the raging sugar dragon is back. He's emerged with a fiery vengeance, and he's mad. He is screaming red hot mad. At least at this point, no one can ever say that I am a quitter. I don't quit. I don't quit candy. I don't quit sugar. But I also don't quit trying to quit those things. So here we go. Round 100, round 1,000, round... I don't know, I've lost track. This is around something. Anyway, all I know is that this battle is raging and I'm the lunatic fighting it. But you know what? I refuse to give up. I'm an Aries. We're stubborn and we never give up on a challenge, and we certainly don't like to lose. I'm not done this fight and I'm refusing to concede. I'm fighting you, Sugar Dragon. I'm gonna win. So it's been a while since my last sugar blog post, just over 4 months, I believe. And at that time, I was starting out on a no sugar candida cleanse, and it was for 30 days. So just a little bit of an update on that. I did make it through the whole 30 days and even a bit more. Then the holidays came around, and of course the cakes, cookies, candies, and all sorts of other goodies made their way into the office in droves. And who can say no to that, right? Certainly not a sugar addict like me, and one who has just barely been 30 days clean. In my defense, though, if there is one in this case, and in my case, I didn't go all hog wild crazy at that point. I was kind of proud of myself, actually, that I was able to maintain a level of, what would I call it, restraint. So I made it through that, and then there was a trip to Los Angeles over 8 days from Christmas Day to New Year's Day, and even then I didn't do terrible per se. Yes, I did indulge in some sweet treats. Dunkin' Donuts is my all-time favorite, so yes, I did have donuts and I had a few sweet things along the way. So on the plane coming home, I wrote out a whole plan of what I was going to do to clean up my act yet again for the start of the year. Didn't make it as a resolution, but I, wrote out this great plan, and I was going to meal prep and grocery shop and stay away from the coffee shops, the specialty coffee that is, and because treats always have to accompany a coffee for me. So I had this plan, and I was going to stick to it, and I was going to work out, and I was going to cook, and all this stuff. Yep, I sure did have a plan, and it looked great on paper, and I was super, super excited when I got home, and I followed it. I was still off work after I got home for another week, so I got into my, I have been consistently working out for, probably over 6 months, going into 7 months now. That hasn't failed. I have not failed on that, but the grocery shopping and the cooking and the meal prepping and all that kind of stuff, and the drinking water and the staying away from sugar, yep, it looked great. And then real life reality set back in, and it was back to regular routine, office to work, and the real life reality of my sugar addiction took its stronghold on me yet again, and it dug its claws in deep. Cue the sugar dragon. Here he comes, roaring in way deep down into the cockles of my being, he had sat simmering, waiting to emerge at the opportune moment. And that he did. Brackets, insert, or stage the fire explosion and the bass music to play here. Dun, dun, dun. All that kind of stuff. Love my sound effects. So anyways, I did okay-ish for January and February. I did indulge in stuff, but even around Valentine's Day, I managed to pretty much stay away from the sweet goodness of milk chocolate, my total and forever and for always biggest downfall. And by this time, I had been to the family doctor for help, a nutritionist, and I had also visited a nurse practitioner. And I wanted to see if there were any varying, what do I want to call it? Suspects in what was going on. But all of them said the same things. Number one, gut health. My gut is sick and in dire need of an overhaul. And number two, I am certainly a sugar addict. I'm no different than an alcoholic or a drug addict. Mine just happens to be sugar. So there's no question about either of those things. I've now heard it from several different professional sources. So fast forward, or to make a long story short, because I don't like to take medication and I struggle with supplements, call me what you will, I'm a suck and my gut doesn't adapt well to supplements. The suggestions and protocols that were given to me by these various healthcare practitioners just really didn't appeal to me, and not to mention the dollar factor attached to each of these treatments. Holy crap, insert shock smiley here. So I was kind of at a standstill. Like I know that I need help. I know that I can't necessarily do this by myself. In theory, in reality, I probably need to be locked away, but that's just not possible. So then the suggestion came to visit Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is a chiropractor by day, and on the side he runs a program alongside his cohort at night called Healthy Transformations. And Dr. Mike is an absolute genius. He's intelligent and crazy knowledgeable about the body and its inner workings and things that can affect it and how things go wrong. I could go on and on talking about Dr. Mike and how crazy smart he is, and the knowledge that this man holds in his head, and that he can just, spiel out without even having to look it up it's crazy. And he leaves me in awe, and I could listen to him talk all day long. Anyway, I made a consultation appointment with Dr. Mike, and in less than 10 minutes, he too agreed with everybody else before him, all the other professionals, and he diagnosed my issue as an unhealthy gut. So Dr. Mike has previous knowledge of my love affair with sugar and candy. I actually took part in his Healthy Transformations program a few years ago in an effort to break up with sugar. So I didn't have to really go into a lot of detail, as he remembered my shortcomings with the sugar bag. And his prescription was cold turkey, cut out the sugar. Gasp. Eat a plant-based diet with lots and lots of greens, and add in a twice a day liquid gold probiotic shot. Hallelujah. There was an answer that was not easy, but it didn't involve, all sorts of pill form supplements or expensive medications or prescriptions that I just really don't believe in. So he gave me a 2-week supply of the probiotic liquid, and guess what? That liquid gold was absolutely everything and more that it was said to be. My skin issues were clearing up within a few days. My sugar friends cravings had subsided significantly in a quick period, and I was sold on this stuff. So things were going along swimmingly for the first couple of weeks, and then the third week, Dr. Mike suggested cutting back on my gold liquid nugget to once a day. Within a day or two, I again noticed a difference. My skin was starting to crawl again, and the cravings were not being held back. So we immediately went back to the double dose. Then, of course, the daily stresses of life happened. And without going into great detail, there was an incident at work that happened over the course of a couple of days. And it's just the stupidity of the reactions, the amount of people that had to insert themselves into the situation, and the simple-mindedness just stressed me out, and it triggered me to need a fix. And so I gave in. And sorry, just to go back for a second, before I gave in, there was also one of those big giant bags of Cadbury mini eggs were brought into the office, and I didn't have any. I managed to refrain, but then this was around the time that the incident happened, and I needed something. Like I had to make myself feel better somehow. I had to just go and blow off the steam. I probably should have gone to the gym, but I didn't. So I went and I bought a box of Junior Mint caramels, and I opened the box in the car on the drive home, and that oh so delicious milk chocolate hit the back of my throat like when you get a lozenge when you have a sore throat and your throat is burning, and it's just that instant relief. That's how I felt. And I ate that entire box while driving home from work that day, and that was in 15 minutes or less. Then that whole thing, because now I have triggered my cravings and the chocolate and the ooey gooey goodness and all of that stuff, snowballed into a whirling dark hole of the sugar dragon roaring from his sleep, and he was demanding to be fed. He just was, now I've woken him, I've poked him, and he's mad. And so over the course of 2 weeks, or maybe a little less, there's probably more that I can add to this list, but I can't remember. But anyways, just to give an idea of how badly I have fallen off the sugar wagon, over the course of 2 weeks, excuse me, there were 4 small boxes of Junior Mints, a large box of Junior Mints, 2 double chocolate bars, 2 small bags of Reason candies, a large bag of Reason candies, a Dairy Milk fruit and nut bar, a Dairy Milk almond bar, 2 Rice Krispie squares that were filled with Lucky Charms, a vegan Nanaimo bar, a chocolate mousse something or other cake, some carrot cake with all of its fabulously wonderful frosting. I can't remember what kind it's called, but you know what I mean. Endless specialty coffees, and so I told you, he's back, and he's mad, and he's fuming. So I did a quick summary of, because I track my food and I try to be as honest as I can, I did a quick summary of my calories over the course of 5 days. Just went back and added everything up, and I consumed approximately 7,500 calories, and the same went out via exercise and steps. But the shocking part of it was, of that 7,500 calories in, about 4,800 of those comprised of the aforementioned junk. And that was a shock when you do the math and you do the calculation, like, oh, sheeps. So that probably would explain why I get up tired and I start the day tired, and I'm on the struggle bus to work out, and I generally have to have a nap when I get home later in the day. And I don't sleep well. I'm restless. And my mind is foggy. And I'm kind of jittery and scatterbrained. I will admit that I just can't seem to stay focused on one thing. I jump from one thing to another without really finishing anything. And then I have to come back and, regroup myself. So, how do I feel? Shitty. Physically, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually, soulfully. I just feel shitty. And my spirit might be broken, but it's not dead. So this podcast starts yet another attempt and another journey to heal myself. I am an addict, and I always will be one. I need to learn that I have to stay away from the white stuff and everything that it entails. And I know that I cannot have just one or enjoy in moderation. There is no moderation for me. It's got to be all out, done, finished, and I am going to have to stay away from it for my own self and my health, of course. So here I go. I'm embarking on a new journey. And I'm going to feed my body what it deserves. I'm going to make it well. I'm going to treat it well. I'm going to give it exercise and nutrition and hydration. It has been screaming to get my attention with both subtle and not so subtle signs. And I need to acknowledge what it's trying to tell me before something happens and I can't reverse it. So please join me on my journey. If anyone has anything that they'd like to offer or, commiserate with me, please, by all means, send me your comments and let this journey begin. Stay tuned, everybody. Thanks for listening. Please give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you for being a listener of the Pod Life. Take care, everybody. Oh, and by the way, happy spring.